Everyone, so today I do want to talk about something that's coming on my mind lately for the past, what is it, couple weeks now? Um, so a couple weeks ago, I don't, alright, not really sure what that was about, but whatever. So I don't know if you guys have heard about it, and if so, good on you. If not, let me fill you in case you've been living under a rock. No offense, just trying to have a little bit of fun here. Um, so basically, on July 1st, I believe it was, I'm not 100% sure, it might have been the second, Sony announced that they were no longer going to make physical game copies as of January 2028. And a lot of people have been pretty mad about it, they've been upset about it. Honestly, I'm with them on this one. And it's just been bugging me so much. And they're in this decision to phase out physical discs for the PlayStation is so dumb, and it could have a really bad effect uh, on certain companies and gaming alone. This could change everything about ownership and a lot of stuff. Okay, so basically, I do enjoy uh, playing games and all that. As obviously, sorry, I kind of had a little bit of brain farts, and I even had to use ChatGPT to help me come up with the script and a few other things. And this is basically what we kind of came up with. Hang on, if I can get it to stay up long enough. Uh, I've got 500. So, as you guys know, I play a lot of games, and most of my stuff is gaming related, and you've seen me play a wide variety of games, including this one. But this one I don't think I can do on YouTube for some of the stuff. So I just kind of went with the safest option possible, and that's just going out, looking for animals, knocking them out, and then extracting them. Sleeping darts and all that. Well, that, and I might also get some stuff too to get my little points up or whatever. Uh, Basically, as you guys already know, from my channel, I play a wide variety of games. I play uh, games, war games sometimes, though some of the stuff that you see I wouldn't really consider a war game with people as it is with machines. And sorry, getting a little thirsty here. Um, Hang on. There you go. And a lot of those games that you see me play are actually downloaded onto my system that are digital. I have about, and I know some of you guys are probably gonna think, oh my gosh, get a life, or whatever. Or I do go and touch grass, all this other stuff. I've heard that stuff before from my friends, give me a hard time and all that. But I have 507 games, and almost all of them are digital. And I have about 37 games that I do have physical copies of. So that's roughly about 7% of my collection that I have on physical discs or physical copies of. Uh, because I don't really go out much, and when I do visit places like GameStop or Walmart, they often don't have the games I'm interested in. They're kind of limited sometimes. The games that you will never see me play are sports games or stuff like that. It's like I just can't get into sports. Um, sorry, hiccups. And among Call of Duty and a bunch of other stuff, which I do have those games, but I cannot really do anything on YouTube, mainly because there ain't no telling what could get me demonetized or whatever. Like right now, for example, I'm just shooting birds with sleeping darts, or at least trying to anyway. And even then, I'm kind of taking a little bit of a risk here. But I doubt it's anything bad, since I'm not going to be like killing anything. Uh-oh. But yeah, the rest of you that I'm not interested in, they're either they are either sports games that are way too expensive, well, I guess not expensive, or just very limited to what games I often play. And I know you're probably wondering what I'm doing. It's all part of my little plan here. But basically, if my thing can work. Like that. See, they're just getting knocked out. Oh, there we go. Can't use that one anymore. But basically, I tend to be very careful about my games, and also a little picky sometimes. And for good reason too, because I don't want to get a game and then it not be something I'm into, or one that you guys won't be into either. So it's like I am kind of limited when I go to GameStop or Walmart. So I tend to buy a lot of my stuff digitally. But that still doesn't... Hang on, let me get out of this. But that still doesn't mean that I don't like digital or anything. Or physical, I mean, sorry. Because I do like owning physical copies. And I do prefer the idea of actually owning my games and not having to worry about the games I buy getting taken away from me at any given moment, whether I paid for it. Or, how do I rephrase that? So basically, I don't have to worry about it being taken away from me at any given point. And if they do this, I'm gonna be extreme. I'm gonna be a little paranoid, because I don't want to be like, oh, I don't know if they're gonna take this game away. Do I want to get this, or are they gonna take it away from me? Do I want to, and yeah. But like I said, back to the point. About 7% of my collection is digital because, again, like I said, when I do go to GameStop or Walmart, they are actually kind of limited. Even GameStop kind of feels a little limited sometimes. Because, like, last time I was at one, all there was were.
CPO,
Pre-
de stuur 6. Bedreigend gevaar. Ga op geleerdheid. Oor. CPF
because
begrijp.
all they
Beschikking
had
omgeven.
were
Uit.
because all they had were pre-owned games. And I'm not against the Marine thing. They also had some other games that were new, but they were like very even limited in that too.
CPO, de stuur in. Eagle progress weg. Het bleek ons het uithebben. Het
And
onderzoek. Oor. CPF begrijp. Verdere verlies is onaanvaardbaar. Van jullie oor. Uit.
and even then, I tend to buy a lot of my games on PlayStation I because you get the idea. Like basically, there's just a lot more on there. There's a wide variety of them, a lot more than you would find at any store. Of course, depends on what store. So and plus, it doesn't. And I would get more physical copies, but again, like I said, a lot of the stores are kind of limited, and I don't really go anywhere hardly at all anyway. And plus, there's also the fact that the GameStop near me shut down a few years ago. So picking up physical copies just isn't as easy. And I know a lot of people love physical, and I do too. But this push to all digital is really changing how we buy, own, and even resell games. And there's even a petition going around as well that already has large amount of signing in, or already has multiple signatures, and nearly all of them were actually done in under a week. Um, Here, let me find it. So as of now, they currently have 282,896 verified signatures. And they go on to say here under the issue, and I'll go ahead and read it right now, so that way you know what they're actually trying to do here and what the point of this is. On July 1st, 2026, Sony announced it will end production of physical discs for all new PlayStation games starting January 2028. New games will be sold digitally or as a box containing only a download code with no disc inside. Days earlier, Grand Theft Auto 6 confirmed it will launch with no disc at all. When the market leader ends the disc, the rest of the industry follows. The irony is hard to miss. At E3 2013, so almost 13 years ago, that's me saying this 13 years ago, Sony won over a generation of players by promising that when you buy a PlayStation game, you can trade it in, sell it, lend it to a friend, or keep it forever, and famously mocked the competition for trying to restrict exactly that. And now, 13 years later, Sony is the one taking it away. A disc is a real game you own. You can lend it, trade it, resell it, gift it, collect it, or pass it down to your kids. A box with only a download code is not the same thing. It is a digital license in a plastic packaging. You do not own it, you are renting access. That can be revoked, and people have already purchased movies deleted from their libraries and games pulled from sale weeks after launch. This is also about jobs. Physical games support an entire industry that an all digital future quietly erases. Retailers, distributors, manufacturers, warehousing, and logistics. The pre-owned and trade and market, and the collector and preservation community that is thousands of jobs and countless small businesses. Ending physical media removes consumer choice, weakens local economies, and hands a few platform holders total control over how and whether you can access the games you buy. We are not against digital, we are against digital being the only option. A large and passionate community still wants a real physical game they own outright, and Sony is about to take that choice away. Signed to tell Sony to keep disc-based games alive beyond 2028, so the next generation can own the games they play, not just rent them. If we do not speak now, the disc disappears and the choice goes with it. And there is a little more here. Oh, there's actually more here. Hang on. Organized on behalf of the wider physical game industry, the retailers, distributors, manufacturers, and collectors whose livelihood and passion depend on physical media. And that is all there is to the issue. That is all what it says. Although there were a couple parts where I did put, at least add in a couple words, but that's basically what they're saying. And I will be including the link to the petition down in the description for this video. And also, on top of that, I've also been seeing videos by other YouTubers calling out Sony for possibly misrepresenting their digital sales. From what I've seen, they're adding DLCs, or actually, hang on, let me rephrase that. From what I've seen and understand, I haven't really dug a whole lot into this. I only seen like one video about it, but from what I could understand, it sounds like they're adding in DLCs, microtransactions, and while these are very far and few between, digital-only games. In other words, there are some games that don't really have a physical oh man, sorry. A physical copy whatsoever. And so they think they're counting that in and just kind of making it look like we're not actually buying, or that we're like basically mostly buying digital, when in reality most of it could just be DLCs. Most of it could be just DLCs, microtransactions, or games that don't really have a lot of physical discs out there. And honestly, I could kind of see that happening. Or I could kind of, yeah, like I could kind of see that actually. And I don't know about you, but it just doesn't sit right with me, basically. And like I said, I will be linking that petition in the description of this video. And there's the ring. But yeah, people have been saying that supposedly they're doing that and adding it on to it, making it look like we, the gamers, are purchasing mainly digital most of the time. In fact, from what I understood, this is just, I think, sales compared to 2024 or 2025? I don't remember now. Either some from last year, over a period from last year, or compared to this year, or last year compared to 2024. But basically, a lot of people have been pointing out that they're lying to your face about the digital purchases, how there's more digital purchases than there are um, than there were physical purchases and a bunch of other stuff. And plus earlier, and I don't know if this is true or not, I just saw a comment, so your guess is as good as mine here. Earlier, I saw where someone pointed out that I think it's like in a live stream or something. Hang on, let me check. Hang on, let me just double check just to make sure. Give me a moment. Okay. Here it is. Here it is. So I saw this comment and read it. Sony France was live streaming earlier and was banning everyone who, or anyone who talking about this situation. Just thought I'd share. So I don't know if that is the case. I'm not doubting this person, but I really wasn't there and I didn't know anything about that. So like I said, if they are, they're basically trying to silence us from what I can understand. Silence us doing this stuff and pointing it out. And I've seen quite a few YouTubers calling them out as well, saying how this is basically just ruining it in general. I think one of these said that they even traded in a game of theirs. I don't know how long ago, but I can only imagine it probably wasn't too long ago. Before they announced that they were going to quit doing physical in media, where he went on to talk about saying something about that he ended up trading some of that stuff in there, or trading in a couple of games, I think. And like, I don't want to be one of those kind of people, like getting a game or trading it in and then lose that game forever when it might have been a game I really enjoyed playing and a few other stuff. And it's also just kind of, I don't know, I just don't like the idea of them going fully digital only after 2028. And plus, it might inflate how many people appear to be going... Oh, wait. Sorry. Hang on. Let me phrase that. But going back to the DLC and microtransactions, on top of that stuff, it might be making digital only game... Oh, wait, and some... sorry, getting tongue-tied. And it might inflate how many people appear to be going digital. As for the amount of DLCs, microtransactions, and sometimes digital only games, which again, like I said, those are far and few between, at least before they announced it anyway, that I'm aware of. And like I said, I haven't fully watched a lot of videos that talked about it or really dived too deep in a lot of this stuff, but it is definitely something that has been bugging me and some friends and even a couple of people I talked to. It just doesn't sit right with them. And I do encourage you to check some of this stuff out so you can kind of get some more information. Where they're saying that PlayStation is lying about their sales for digital and a few other things. Because like I said, like I said, I have not watched the full thing. I haven't really dive too deep into it, so I'll let you guys see for yourselves. But it really does kind of look like they're trying to push this narrative about it, about this stuff being uh, a high number of people purchasing digital, when in reality it could most likely be DLCs and uh, microtransactions and possibly one of the few digital only games. And I have seen a few on there that are basically only digital, but like I said, even though then those are like far and few between. And like I said, it's just kind of one of those things where it's so dumb, and it's just kind of one of those things where it just doesn't sit right with me whatsoever. Because, like I said, sorry. Like I said, I don't want to like purchase a game and then have to worry about it getting taken away from me at any given point in time. At any point or time. Now, while I do understand there are licensing and stuff like that, so when it's something like that, it's understandable because, you know, like once licensing runs out, you can't really do a whole lot with it. Kind of like with Friday 13th. Deadpool, Xbox Deadpool from a few years ago. And I think a couple other games that also that they lost licensing for. Um, Started getting kind of. Hmm. But yeah, like I said, it's just kind of one of those things where I just don't like the idea of them going all digital because, like I keep saying, I don't want to buy a game that have to worry about it, um, about it getting taken or sorry, I'm tongue tied. But like I said, I don't want to worry about getting a game and then having to worry whether or not that game is going to be taken away from me at any given point or time. And I personally would prefer to have physical copies. Trust me, I do want more, but like I said Walmart and GameStop are kind of limited on some of that stuff compared to the PlayStation Store, where there's a wide variety of it. And if they go all digital, we're just buying licenses to actually play them. So like it could be uh, so yeah, like I said, in their thing, they even mentioned that when you buy it, you don't actually own it, as far as digital goes, and that means that even if you do buy it, you don't own it. You're only buying or purchasing the license to play it. And if you do that, that means they could take it away from you at any given time, whether it's uh, a game that everybody loves and plays. Like, there's actually been a few instances of this. I think one of the biggest ones, and the ones that actually surprised everyone was the crew. I don't remember the name of the game now. It was like the crew motorsport or something. I don't remember. But basically, that is the one that basically.
Boss, get down. The enemy's sniper. Stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
Sorry. Give me a second. But basically, when they shut down the crew, everyone lost basically what they paid for. There were no refunds or anything. So like if you purchased the game and their refund system is already screwed up, like big time. You made a video about it once before. They can do that? Sorry, I didn't. Sorry, sorry for that. I did not know that it could honk. And it would do that, to be honest. But yeah, basically, it's just something that I'm not for at all. But just about everyone is actually against it. Even some of the companies, other companies, have even made fun of Sony. To list a couple, there's give me a second. There's yeah, there's crap, I done forgot what I was saying.
He's coming too. Watch that.
I'll just shoot these guys real quick. Actually, let me just do this. Interrogate him. And
Talk. Where are your friends?
thank you. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it just doesn't make sense. It's stupid.
You gotta extract him.
It's something that a lot of people have been pretty pissed about over the past week, and honestly, I'm with them on this one. In fact, there's actually been some well-known websites that have, like IGN, a gaming. It's basically news, but for gaming only, from what I could piece together. Because like every single time I see something for IGN, it's always gaming news. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the GN stands for, gaming news. But yeah, like I said, it's even they were not happy about it Of course, I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen the article for myself. But I did see a video where they were talking about it and even pointing out that even they were were not all that thrilled about them doing this either. So it sounds like that they are very one-sided with this one, and thankfully it's with us, the gamers. And oh man, sorry. And yeah, it's just starting to get a little frustrated here. It's it's just stupid, is what it is. Like, I don't see the point in it. It's just a bad idea in general, and it could change ownership in the long run, or change the meaning of ownership in the long run. And like that thing said under issues on the petition, like what I read a while ago, where they were kind of talking about it. Uh, they said, like they said, there's not going to be any more physical copies, and I don't want to. And on top of that, I don't want to spend like, let's say, $80 for a box that's not going to have a game in it, and just have like a little code for you to use on PlayStation or however this works, or how it'll work. And like I said, I will be leaving the petition down in the link below, for you guys to sign. And yeah, I just don't know. But yeah, their whole slogan, which I found out was actually back in 2020, which actually kind of surprised me. The play has no limits one, that actually came in 2020, right around the time they were getting ready to release the PS5. I gotta say, that did not age well. Play has no limits. I guess play has limits, especially nowadays. Or especially now that PlayStation has announced that they're not going to do any more physical copies. But like I said, it's just stupid. It's dumb. I don't get the point of it. In fact, I don't think a lot of people actually get the point of it. As to why they're doing this to begin with, other than greed and a few other stuff. Plus, if they do go all digital, am I against it? Yes, 100%. But there's also the fact here, if they do go digital, they need to do a lot of reworks to their refund system, because it's already a nightmare to get a refund on there. And as a matter of fact, for a while, I had to lie to get a refund, and I don't do that ever to get a refund. But with PlayStation's rules of getting a refund, like some people have pointed out, it's very I'm trying to think. It's very restricting. It's very unreasonable. That's what I was trying to think. It's very unreasonable. Because, like, if you download it, you are no longer eligible for a refund. And yet, when you do go on there and try to get a refund, there's like a bunch of options on there where it's like, and it gives you a few options, like the game was unplayable, the game was not what was advertised, and a bunch of other stuff. When I tried to get a refund when I got Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I got like a couple levels into it before I tried to get a refund because it was crashing way too much. And that Modern Warfare game was the 2019 remake. And I got it in, I think, last year or 2024. I don't remember now. No, yeah, it was last year, I believe. And it was crashing a lot. There were so many problems with it. I could not get through a whole level without it crashing. I think it crashed on about 20, actually, may not even that many, but like 15 to 20 times. And when I tried go on there to try to get a refund to explain, I selected the ones that corresponded. Refund, game is basically unplayable, or crashes way too much, or I don't remember now. And when I got done with it, they told me that I'm sorry, but you are not eligible for a refund. As a gamer, we understand, or I understand, your frustration. But do your research, or I don't remember now. It was so stupid. It was basically like me trying to get a refund, and they're telling me that basically I should have done more research on it or looked into it more when I have, but I didn't know anything about when I had and didn't know anything about it crashing as many times. In fact, it released in 2019 and it was like 2024 when I got it. So I thought, okay, they got all the bugs fixed by now, hopefully. Because I remember when that game first came out, it was pretty buggy. And I knew they updated it quite a bit as well. But when I got it, oh boy, it was so, it was a mess. And sorry, I thought I heard my cat. But yeah, basically, it was just like a big old fuck. Uh, I usually don't do this, but I'm just gonna say it. It's basically like a big old fuck you. We're keeping your money. You should have done more research and a bunch of other stuff. Basically, like them basically feeling like they were giving me the middle finger. So, and that was the one time I actually tried to get it honestly, because like I said, their refund policy is so screwed up that you can't even get a refund without lying. But they fixed it recently to where they can see if you are lying or not. In other words, they can see if you downloaded it or not. And if you downloaded it, you are no longer eligible for refund. So unless there's something genuinely wrong with the game, like it's actually unplayable, or if it's actually something that was not what was advertised, you are not getting your money back whatsoever. So they need to loosen up and make it more reasonable if they're going to do this. In fact, I'm actually surprised they didn't make a petition for that either, which, who knows, maybe they will. Or may take an accord on this, kind of point out what they're doing is like completely unreasonable, and yeah, who knows, one can dream, right? But anyway, like I said, I just kind of want to get on here, say all the stuff, get it off my mind, and even though this game did start off, and even though this video did start off pretty slow, I just kind of wanted just to kind of get it out of my system, explain what was on my mind, and like I said, I will be leaving that link to that petition down below in the description. So go there, go there and sign it. So hopefully, and I don't know if they're actually going to acknowledge it. So far, they have basically been ignoring us and sweeping us basically under the rug so far. But I'm hoping. Okay. But I'm hoping that with enough signatures and hopefully with enough backlash, um, they will hopefully reconsider their idea of getting rid of physical entirely. And and I would personally as well want to put I do want to point out that people have actually done a lot of stuff to boycott them. They've canceled their PS Plus subscription. Uh, they're just not buying any PS or PlayStation games or anything. As much as I do want to cancel my PS Plus, the only problem here is that most of my games I need PS Plus to play. Well, I guess not really play, but like play online with my friends, and that's it. There are games like Fortnite where I can play it and not have PS Plus, so there's that one. But I also prefer to have other games that I can play games with my friends. And I'm thinking about not purchasing any more games from PlayStation until this happens. And if they do decide to get rid of physical, I might just have to get a computer or something. Cause like this, this is a load of BS. Oh, and something else I do want to point out. If you've been offline for 3 years, like your PlayStation account has been offline for 3 years, they can and will delete your account. So all that money you spent, gone. All those games you spent the money on, gone. Time and effort, gone. Your friends, gone. Well, not gone, but you know what I mean. Um, but yeah, you could have, let's say, about $40,000 worth of games on your system, and if you're offline for 3 years, all that $40,000 gone. You are basically losing everything ever. And I know a lot of people have been pretty pissed about that too. But like I said, I just hope that something happens between now and January 2028. Like, will we make them realize that what they're doing is complete dog shit or bullshit? I guess I should say. Sorry, I don't know why I said dog shit. Um, or will they actually eventually, hopefully, acknowledge that we are just genuinely concerned about this, and will they actually acknowledge what we're trying to do? Me personally, I'm trying to stay optimistic and just hope that something does happen between now and January 2028 to prevent this. And if like I said, I just really hope that something between now and January 2028 will happen to where they realize that getting rid of physical media is just not going to be good for anyone. But I'm trying to stay optimistic here and hope that something does happen. Like maybe they'll get rid of the CEO who's who the idiotic CEO that decided, oh yeah, this is a good idea, gets replaced with someone who is actually more in tune with gamers, or someone who actually knows really good stuff that will actually help out the company. Much like Xbox, when they got their new CEO, she really turned things around. I've been hearing a lot of good things. And just recently, I don't know if this is true or if this is a rumor that one of my friends heard, but supposedly the new CEO that took over Xbox or Microsoft or whatever company, I don't know now, but supposedly she plays games or a little bit of some games, so she's a little more in tune with the gaming community. So I do hope that something like that will happen, to where we get a new CEO where they're a little more in tune, but not, you know. But anyway, I think I'm just going to go ahead and end the video here. Like I said, I'll leave the description down below, and description down below. I'll leave the petition link down in the description below for you guys to sign. And if you do, good. If not, that's fine. But please, for everyone's sake, just let them know that getting rid of physical media is not a good idea. Make videos. Do sign the petition, whatever. Just don't let them do this, because if they do go through with getting rid of physical, you're most likely not going to own the game ever, and you will be at risk losing it, whether it be a game that just released and got shut down not even a few months later after released, or whatever. So please do whatever you can to help out with this issue. Like, feel free to send the link down below for the petition to people you know who might be interested, who also think this is a bad idea. Share it on Facebook, share it on whatever if you want. And no, I'm not, like, I'm not really sure if it's possible for petitions to get sponsors, or for me to get sponsored by a petition, but that's not the point. I'm not doing this to, I'm just doing this to bring up awareness, as well as some of the issues and my thoughts on it, and encourage you to try and sign the petition if you want. And again, feel free to send the link to some of your friends or people you might know. Sign it yourself if you want. Just let's try and spread it out, because as of now, it has 283,141 verified signatures, and I am one of them. And let's keep this thing going. And anyway, I'll end it here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and real quick, be sure to share this video if you want. Not saying, like, oh, send my video, or, just share this video, send it to other people, kind of show them this or whatever, and you can at least get a better idea to, you know what I mean. But anyway, like I said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Just share this video, make this thing widespread, aware. Send that. Don't forget to send the link to other people, or that you think might be interested, or who also agrees with this video, and many others. Feel free to do it, and I hope you enjoyed and I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. Until then, see you next time. Bye.